For a lot of people, Hollyland may have created the perfect mic. I'd even go as far as to say that it's possibly one to beat, or at least it has the potential. Unfortunately though, it does currently lack a couple of things that would have truly made it perfect for me. But before I get onto those, I've been using this mic for quite a lot recently over the last couple of weeks, and I think the sound quality is phenomenal, as you can hear for yourself, because I'm using it right now and will be throughout this entire video. But that's only really one reason why I think it's definitely worth considering in the sea of wireless microphones that there are at the moment. And the price point is actually one of them as well, because I expected with the combo version at least, where you get 2 transmitters, 1 receiver, a charging case, a Lightning and USB-C transmitter, that it would actually be pricier than it currently is. So that's actually quite impressive. So before I get on to the few things that I do really wish it had, here are a couple of points that I really like about it, and also features that I do think are really handy. These transmitters are incredibly lightweight and so small, which enables them to be quite discreet. I really like the button design as well, and because the mic is so lightweight, there's no drooping or sagging when it's attached to my top. And that's the other thing as well, there are so many ways that you can attach the mic. It's got a necklace accessory, so you can attach it like that, or you could use the magnet and just attach it to any part of your top. You could even use the magnetic clips that you could clip it on if you prefer that, or if you're wearing a thicker top like a thick hoodie or a thick woolly jumper, so that you don't have the risk of the magnet coming away and the mic falling off, because the thicker the material, then the less effective the magnets are going to be, and that kind of goes for any wireless mic, to be honest. But otherwise the magnets are pretty strong. But just coming back to the compactness of it and how discreet it is, I actually love the fact that there's an option to kind of customize the transmitters, because Hollyland included a bunch of stickers, so you could go and get stickers printed if you wanted to, if you had a logo that you wanted to have instead of having the Hollyland logo showing. Or if you just want something that's low-key and even more discreet, then Hollyland included some black stickers and also some white stickers, so that you could just cover up the logo and not have it be intrusive. So I think that was a really nice touch there. Now, I did mention earlier how I think the audio quality sounds awesome, and like I said, I'm using it through the entire video, so I'm using the microphones throughout the entire video so you can get an idea of what the audio sounds like, and later on I will go outside so that you can hear it in a different environment. But I want to show you this on the receiver that you get with the combo version and the camera version, because it's a very straightforward receiver. There's nothing complicated about it. You've basically just got a wheel on the front that allows you to adjust the volume, which is basically the gain, and it's very effective. And then you've also got a power button and a mode button, and yeah, that's literally it. But one of the features that I mentioned earlier that it lacks, that I really do wish it had, is the ability to enable a safety track. And I don't know how useful this is for other people, but for me, I do find it very useful if I'm in an environment where the audio is just quite temperamental, so I'll switch it to a safety track so that I can always just bring the volume back using the track that's recorded at a lower gain. So like I said, don't know how useful this is for a lot of people, but for me it's something that I do use quite a lot, so it's something that I did miss. But that was just one of the features that I do really wish it had, and I'll highlight some of the others later. But that does bring me on to a feature that it has that can give you clearer audio if you're out and about and it's windy or there's lots of traffic or ambient noise, and that feature is environmental noise cancellation. So I thought I'd come out somewhere a little bit busy. There's also quite a bit of wind at the moment, and I've already enabled the environmental noise cancellation just so that you can hear it in that scenario, and hopefully it's doing a good job. One thing I did notice though is if you have both transmitters and you turn noise cancellation off or on one of them, it will also apply it to the other one as well, so it'll do both of them at the same time. So that was just something worth noting. It's also worth mentioning at this point that there's also a mobile app where you can adjust some of the settings for the microphone as well. So if you want to adjust the noise cancellation and you're using it with a phone, then you've got 2 settings. You can either have it on weak or you can have it on strong. The other thing is, if it's a windy day, you can attach these furry windshields, just like I've got at the moment. One of them has the furry on and the other one doesn't, and I'm just recording in stereo track so that I can switch between the two. and so that you can hear the difference. But they are a little bit fiddly to put on, but once they are on, it does do a good job of cutting out the wind. I tested this the other day. The other setting you can adjust in the mobile app is the volume of the microphones. So like you've got with the receiver, you can adjust the wheel to either have it low, high or medium. It's the same thing with the app, you've just got a low, high or medium setting in there as well. So if you're using it with your mobile phone. So as you're probably aware now, the mic is compatible with lots of other devices. I've used it with my camera, my phone, my laptop. I've even tried it with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and it worked and sounded great. In terms of the compactness of this kit, the USB-C and the Lightning receivers are also incredibly small and lightweight, which is a huge advantage if you use your phone with something like a gimbal, because it means that you don't have to worry about the gimbal becoming unbalanced. Also, another great feature is the fact that you can use the noise cancellation button on the transmitter as a remote to either start and stop recording or take a photo, and this works no matter what camera app you're using, so there's no restrictions there. There are also no restrictions when it comes to recording voiceovers, as you can use any voice recording app on your phone with the mic, and you can also use the mic when you're recording videos directly in Instagram as well, so it will pick up the microphone. In terms of the audio channels, when you're using the microphones with a camera, you can actually choose whether you record in mono or stereo, but unfortunately if you are using it with a mobile phone, there's no option to choose that, so you'll just get a mono track without it separating into two channels. When it comes to battery life, Hollyland has stated that you'll get up to 10 hours of runtime from one transmitter. And in terms of the charging case, the transmitters get 2 full charges using the mobile version case, so up to 30 hours in total of runtime for each transmitter, and they state it takes less than 1.5 hours to charge the transmitters and about 1.5 hours to charge the case. For the camera version, you'll get 3 full charges for all 3 items, so the 2 transmitters and the receiver, giving you up to 40 hours of runtime for each transmitter. And the case for the camera and the combo version takes about 2 hours to charge. With the case, the mics also fit with the magnets on when you put them back in the case, which is really handy, so there's no faffing around and having to take them off and put them elsewhere. And the mics also pair automatically with the receiver when you take them out of the case as well, so you don't have to keep pairing them every time you use them. So remember how I said that there were a couple of things that I was disappointed about, and I already mentioned one of them, it's just not having the safety track feature. The other one, which I feel is quite a popular demand and quite a popular feature among a lot of people, and something that I also use a lot myself, is 32-bit flow internal recording. And again, this might not be something that you're really that bothered about, but for me it's something that I find is very useful, especially when you just want to use the mics without recording directly into the camera and you just want to record onto the microphones for any convenience depending on what you're doing. So I just feel like that was a bit of a missed opportunity, and I hope it's something that would be considered for the next iteration of the mics. So the next thing, which I don't think it's a massive deal for a lot of people, and for me it isn't, but it's just something that I wanted to highlight in case it's something that you do find that you would miss, because the Lark M2 doesn't have the option to monitor your audio, so there's no headphone port, which is a little bit of a bummer if you have a camera that doesn't allow you to do this, because it doesn't have that headphone port on it. Like I said, for me it's not a big deal, but it's something that I just wanted to highlight. And if you still wanted to get the mics, you could completely get around this by just monitoring the audio levels on the display, but it's just something that would have been a nice to have. But if none of those downsides put you off and you still quite like the mic and you want to find out a little bit more about it, I've put a QR code on the screen and also a link in the description so that you can find out more.